Welcome back, guys, to another beautiful day here in Japan, and we have nothing planned as usual, but we're going to go for a short walk just before lunch, and then I'm not sure what we'll do for lunch, but I'll figure out something, so let's go. So we're back. Mary pretty much demanded juice right off the bat and has already sucked it all down, which doesn't surprise me. And I'm enjoying the coffee. Yum yum, I need it the most. Yes, I do. But I think lunch today will just be leftovers. We had marble tofu last night and it was delicious. But we had a little bit left over, probably just enough for one serving. But I don't want to make a whole thing of rice, and I actually don't have any little instant rice packs anymore. I've used them all, and I think I might just make it into a sandwich. Does that sound crazy? I hope not, because that's what I'm going to do. It sounds really good. So I got too hungry and scarfed the whole thing down without filming it. Yeah. Well, I've decided I need a little bit more than just one slice of bread and some tofu and some meat on it. It was nice, but it was actually quite small. And Mary was so kind to open a soup packet for me. So I'm going to have some soup, apparently. And yeah, this is actually a corn cream soup kind of thing. You just add water to it and it's really good. But yeah. She just had to go and chew on it and open it. But I guess that's good for me because now I'll have something a little extra to eat, I guess. What's great about these powdered soup is that you can store a lot of them and takes up very little space. And it just adds hot water to it and ba-bam, you have some nice soup. Whether it be miso soup, this corn chowder soup. They have all sorts. Vegetable soup, like broth soups, like there's like a whole aisle dedicated to like powdered soups. It's quite ridiculous, but yeah, they have a lot of different kinds here. But I think I added a little too much water to it. I like my cream chowder to be a little bit thick, but that's okay. I'm still gonna eat it. I mean, if you really want to like try and stretch it, I sure did do that. I'm not a huge corn chowder fan, but it's super popular in Japan and it's really good. Like, you can find corn chowder soup like this in vending machines. Yeah, they'll sell cans of corn chowder soup, especially during the cold seasons. They'll have it on the hot menu items and you can just get a can of soup while you're out. Yeah, it's crazy. I've never seen soup in a vending machine before, but they have that here, and it's pretty standard. So this is Mary's new favorite thing, is to get my mirror out of the bedroom and bring it in here and play on it. Yeah, She basically makes a tilt table and plays on it. Oh no! Mary has now moved to the sofa with the mirror. And she really likes just, yeah, playing with it, doing all sorts of things with it. Although I don't like her to play with it because it can get kind of dangerous. I'm really worried that she might break it. And this is literally the biggest mirror I have in the house, besides the one that's in my bathroom. So yeah, I don't want her to break it. And yeah, I always yell at her because she likes to step on it too. And I get like heart palpitations. I don't know what to do because I can't really hide it. I mean, I could put it on top of my dresser, I guess. Like the big dresser I have in my bedroom. I could put it up here, but it's already full of stuff. Like, this is where I keep our baby wipes, our tissues, all of my jewelry and makeup is up here because she was always in that before she could even like crawl. Like, she was all up in there. I was like, nope, putting that up. So yeah, but other than that, or putting it in the closet, I do use it, but I usually only use it if I'm like doing my hair or if I'm doing my makeup. So I guess I could just take it out when I do that kind of thing rather than always having it out. But I don't know. I don't know what to do. I guess I should just put it away like any good mom would do. Okay, I'm gonna put it away. Like, I've made the decision in my mind and in my head that I'm gonna put it away. And yeah, I think I'm just gonna put it in our closet. Excuse the mess, but I'm going to show you my closet and how it's kind of organized. So yes, but it's very messy, just to warn you. We'll start down here where the biggest mess is and it gets cleaner. These are all the bags that I save. Like, these are like big paper bags from like baby stores or clothing stores that I used to shop at. And of course we keep my suitcase down here. And we move up. This is a big futon shelf that you traditionally store your futon on. And I basically have a big giant kotatsu blanket right here. And I've had this blanket after 3 months of moving to Japan. I bought this blanket. So I've had this blanket for 8 years. We don't have it out right now because it is massive. And when I say massive, I mean it would fill this entire room almost, or at least 3/4 of it would be full, because that's what I used when I lived up in Ibaraki. And I had a nice kotatsu table and I put it on there, and it was great because I would literally kind of sleep under it during the winter because it was cheaper heating the kotatsu than it was heating the entire room and heat escaping, because heat escapes so easily here in Japan. So I would use this blanket. Ever since I moved to Yokohama though, I have not used it. Yeah, I feel bad about that, but I haven't used it. And it's mainly because of space. I just don't have the space to use it, although I really want to. I don't want to get rid of it because of how much it cost. It was around, I'd say around 4,000 yen, which is $40. That doesn't sound like a lot, but for a nice blanket, that's actually quite a bit. And yeah, I'm just one of those people who don't want to really get rid of this. But at the same time, I guess I need to eventually, unless we move into a bigger place. The next thing up is actually baby futon stuff. I have basically 2 sets of baby futon stuff. One was given to me and the other one my in-laws bought for us. And we currently use the one my in-laws bought for us, but if it ever gets like super freaking cold, I have another cover I can put on top of her that isn't like super heavy, but it still keeps the warmth inside. So the next thing, I have this shelf. I actually bought this to make an additional shelf in the closet, and I bought this at Nitori. And it's basically a futon shelf that has like nice little airing on it. And this is a futon. It's very old actually. This is Naoki's old futon that we used to sleep on in his old apartment before he moved to this one. And it's literally just a single futon. It's very small. And yeah, 2 people slept on it. Or at least he slept on the majority of it and I slept on half. And then we put blankets down so that I could still have some cushion from the floor. Yeah, it was quite crazy, but we keep it in case of guests. And yeah, this is our heating pad for the winter. It will get quite cold and we just put this inside of our blanket and we stay nice and toasty. I keep all of these like bags and things. This is for her current futon set, the baby futon set. But we keep everything because if we ever really wanted to sell it or even give it away to somebody, I'd rather give it away in their original box. So yeah, I have my pregnancy pillow here that it was useful, but at the same time I just think this particular pillow was not what I needed. I needed something a little different, but I still have it, but I don't really use it. The case I got for it, which is on it right now, it's silky, which feels great, but you slip right off of it. Yeah. I needed to get maybe a cotton sleeve for it, and it would have been so much better. We'll now move up to our top shelf here. This is all of my kimono stuff. I have my kimono undergarments and my kimono and my hakama here, and my shoes, any other yukata, all that stuff is right here. And then we have like our computer original box. We have an amp because Naoki plays the guitar. And we have some more boxes that are like original boxes and stuff. And of course another like suitcase over here, but you can't really see it. A nap, and I just realized where I put my mirror is where my heater goes. Yeah, I haven't put up my heater yet, and I need to because it's almost summer. We haven't been using it at all, hardly, and I need to put it up. But I just put my mirror where I normally would put this. So now I have another predicament of where I'm going to put this, or exchange the mirror out and put the mirror somewhere else. Now for my heater, I do store it in a bag because otherwise the dust will get so caked on even in my closet. So I just use a plastic bag from the grocery store. Just like that. But to secure it, I actually tie it on the bottom to make sure it doesn't come off. So now it's all ready to be stored, but I had to find a place for it. Yeah, I really don't know. Mary has woken up, but yeah, she's creating mischief as always. I have decided to actually take a gander at my cookbooks that I have. Yes, actual physical cookbooks. They're all right here. And these are not like published cookbooks. All of my cookbooks that I really have are actually ones that are, I don't know, like I would say most of these are church cookbooks. So like members of my home church back in America, we used to make a cookbook every once in a while. Through all the elders, and everyone could submit recipes and they would make a book out of it, and then they could buy it as like a fundraiser. And I have one cookbook from Australia. I think that's probably like the only maybe published one that I have. And I have another one that's from my summer camp I used to work at, And yeah, I want to look and see if I can find some new ground beef recipes. We have, what do you want, Mary? You want to see what books I have? Is that it? Yeah. I want to try and find a new ground beef recipe. The ones I currently have and use, they're great, but they get old after a while, you know? You need something fresh and new every once in a while. But yeah. So like, this is my church cookbook one. Here's another one. And then here is another one. So yeah, those are all 3 cookbooks. I can't remember which one is the newest one. I want to say it's in this one. No, it's not. That's definitely not the newest one. Okay, yeah. The reason why I knew that, as soon as I opened it, it was actually signed by my grandmother, and yeah, definitely not the newest one. This is the book I have from Australia. It's called Recipes from the Center, meaning Central Australia. I basically got it when I went on a tour through the, what is it called? The Flying Doctors Service? Is that what it is? I think that's what it is. If you're from Australia and you know it, you can comment below, correct me, whatever. But it's basically about these doctors who fly out to the outback to do doctor stuff. Yeah, because people out there can't really get into like big cities or anything to see a doctor sometimes, or if there's like an emergency. So these guys fly out to there. Yeah, it's crazy, but it's really cool at the same time. And at the place they had this tour, they had this cookbook of people from homesteads that lived in those areas and what they did to live out there. So I was like, oh, that's really cool. I like that. I want to buy that book. So I did. And of course, my camp book is this one. It's Camp Akahanic on the Bay. If you don't know them, you should definitely check them out. I went there as a camper, and then I worked there later in life, and then yeah, so many journeys. But they have recipes from counselors, from people who worked in the kitchen, all sorts of stuff. So I'm hoping I can find something in one of these cookbooks that intrigues me enough to want to actually cook it, but we'll see. Are you gonna help mommy look? Yeah? Let's see. But you have to stay seated, okay? Main dishes. In a lot of these cookbooks, they don't have anything divided by like beef, chicken, and fish kind of thing. A lot of it's just separated into main dishes, desserts, salads, that kind of thing. Sit down, Mary. Sit down. Sit down. No, you can look at it right here. Sit down. See, this is the one that's signed by my grandmother. It has my name, and it says from Grandmother Cooper. And then that's the date. 1985. So I have found some interesting, to say the least, recipes. One interesting one I found was for porcupine casserole. Yeah, yes. Porcupine casserole. Yeah. That's how in the middle of nowhere my church used to be. But I did find something like barbecue meatballs. That sounds interesting. Or even sloppy joes. I hadn't thought about doing sloppy joes, so that's another possibility. One thing about recipes from America is that a lot of the stuff that the recipes call for, I can't actually get here in Japan. So like Campbell's tomato soup unless I want to like actually buy it in bulk from like Costco. Yeah, they don't really have it. They don't really have it at the stores. So there's that. And then some other things call for those pre-made biscuits from like Pillsbury and stuff. Yeah, I do not have that here. Yeah, they don't have pre-made anything. The only thing they do have pre-made is pie crusts, and those are frozen. And yeah, but anything like the Pillsbury crescent rolls or the different types of dinner rolls or biscuits, no, they don't have any of that here. But there was a lot of meatloaf in all of the cookbooks. I think each cookbook had at least 2, up to 5 or 6 recipes of meatloaf. Just different kinds of meatloaf, I guess. Like, I didn't even read them all. I was just like, I already have a meatloaf recipe. I don't need more. So, but yeah. And one good thing about these cookbooks is that there's actually a section on fish, usually, or seafood. And that's also something I struggle with, trying to find a recipe for seafood, because I love fish, but just having grilled salmon all the time or something like that, it gets kind of old. So it'd be nice to make something different and interesting seafood wise. For dinner tonight, I'm going to be making my karaage, and I need to think of some sides. I don't want to make like french fries or something like that on the side, because it's just too much, like, yeah. But I am thinking I'll make cornbread, because I'm just in the mood for cornbread and I have corn that I can use, so why not? And I have my own like recipe book here that I write stuff down in if I decide to try and make up a recipe, or if I find something online and I just want to write it out. That way I can like make changes to it if I want. But I have my cornbread recipe here, if you can see that. I don't know if it's showing up on camera very well, but yeah. And in Japan, I can't really find cornmeal like readily available unless I want to go to a specialty shop, and even then it comes very small packages. So I tend not to use cornmeal. I use actual corn. And here is our cornbread. It actually didn't rise as much as it usually does, so I'm not sure why. It usually rises a lot more than what it did, but it still tastes delicious. Okay, the chicken is all ready. Yes, it turned out so good. I will totally be using that packet of sauce I got again. If you're curious, it's this particular packet here, and so easy, so delicious. Oh my gosh, totally buying that again. That was the first time I've ever bought that particular brand. So good. And of course, I'll be eating mine with some cornbread, and Naoki will be eating his with rice. Itadakimasu. Well guys, it is time to say goodnight. Mary is in bed, Naoki is going to study, and I'm just going to read. So yeah, I hope to see you in our next vlog, and like and subscribe. Bye!